Hey y'all, Novi here. I watched a bunch of best settings guide videos so that I could create this ultimate settings guide, and I found the best settings that I could find for you. So let's get straight into it. Starting in our gameplay, make sure for your in-game top settings, you should have all of these checked. Show dot crosshair, show pings, show borders, auto ready when dead, and then share loadout. Next, for your hit markers, these are more personal things you can decide for yourself, but I personally found these settings work best for me. For obviously have your hit markers enabled so you know when you hit somebody, and honestly I left all the colors the same. I didn't mess with them, and I also left all of the opacities at full just so that it's easy to see. But what I did change is I changed the volume all the way up to the top so that you can actually hear it over the sounds of the battlefield, and then I changed the duration down to 5 and then also the size down to 5 so I can show you in this game when you shoot it. See, it's smaller but it fades really quickly and it's quite nice how it is. So that's what I changed. I put them all to the same, the headshots, the kills, the armors, and then I also changed the headshot marker color from, I think it was white before, to green so that you actually know when you get a headshot versus a body shot. I think that's really helpful to know, but you know, that's sort of up to you as well. Next, for your user interface, I would make sure to show level progression on, show squad list on, and then I personally like sorting by score just so I know how I'm doing compared to the rest of the scoreboard. I would hope that in the future they have a sort by kills. I would actually appreciate that more than score, because honestly your score doesn't matter that much. You can get a ton of score by destroying vehicles, by healing, by repairing vehicles as well. So I hope they add that as a scoreboard style. That'd probably be pretty easy to add. I did not change anything in here, I don't believe. These colors are fine as they are, you know, blue, green, or blue, red, and white being the standard colors for games. I don't have show FPS or network statistics on just because I have the Steam FPS in the top. If you want to know how to do that, basically you just shift tab, you go into settings and then game overlay, and you can turn on FPS from there. So next, flag size, you can turn these down if you want. Sometimes, you know, maybe it'd be better so that they're not blocking up your screen, but it's not a big deal, honestly. Crosshair size, you can leave it as is. Make sure you have show KeyBindings on. At least I find it helpful. Sometimes I forget. Maybe I'm dumb, I don't know. But I don't think it's bad to have them on. They don't really block your screen because they're on the sides. So next, you can have chat enabled, up to you. I have toggle map on so you don't have to hold the key while looking around on it. I just think it's easier that way. And yeah, these don't really matter. I don't know what I changed, but that's okay. Let's go to controls. I would have directional climbing on, toggle lean on. You don't want to have to hold the Q and E keys while also trying to strafe around, so you definitely want that to be toggled. I actually toggle aim on whenever I am sniping or using MDRs, or even the SCAR, because the SCAR is basically an MDR, let's be real. But yeah, I'll turn that on when I'm sniping just so I don't have to hold the right mouse button because my fingers get tired. And then toggle dragging players I've turned off, and then also toggle sprint I have that on because my pinky gets tired because I play for such extended sessions. Next, reload style. This is actually pretty important. I have it to one tap to drop just so that my normal reload, just tapping R, drops the magazine. Some people like to have it on double tap because that's the same setting that Tarkov uses, which I totally understand. I play a bunch of Tarkov too, but I actually find it easier just to one tap drop it, and you know, if you want it back you can pick it up. So I find that easier that way. And then tap delay, you can leave that on the default setting. Mouse settings are very personal things. It depends on your mouse pad, and how you like to aim, whether it's with your wrist or your arm. Personally, I have a very big mouse pad and I aim with my arm, so big movements, which means that I can have much lower sensitivity, which gives me higher accuracy theoretically. So I have been messing around with it a little bit, but this is the settings that I have come to. I have 69 vertical sensitivity, 69 horizontal for the mouse, and then the aim down sights are around 50 as well. And basically the idea is if you're aiming, you want to have a little bit more than 360 degrees of vision. So if we turn around like this, I just got close to the edge of the mouse pad. You still want to be able to move around a little bit just so you can aim. And then if we go from the middle to the other side, you have full range of motion that way as well. So you can aim behind you. You don't want it to be the very edge because then you can't go anywhere, but you want it to be very close to the edge so you can aim around it, but still get 360 vision while also having the lowest amount of sensitivity. So that is how I personally, you can test this for yourself. It's really easy to do. Just do the thing where you put your mouse in the center and move it to the right and left and change your sensitivity based on that. I leave all of these scope things. I don't really use those scopes anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Next, for your key bindings, this will be a doozy, so stick with me, boys. We got this. Movement, you can leave all the same. Sprint, I changed to caps lock from shift because caps lock is easier for my pinky to reach. I have short ass fingers, I'm real, so if you want to leave it on shift, that's totally okay, I understand. I turn crouch from left control to C, again, easier to reach. My pinky can't reach that control all the way in the back corner, so then I don't have the crouch actually on anything. The toggle crouch is on C, and then prone I have on Z. That is a great thing for it. Next, lean left, lean right. This may be controversial, but I actually have them switched, so the Q is to lean right and the E is to lean left. I know it's slightly backwards, it's weird, it took me a while to get used to, but I promise you it is worth it, because it means that you can strafe with the other key while also hitting the E. Of course, you know, if it's toggled, it doesn't really matter, so up to you, but I find it easier to have it opposite, because if you're peeking to the right, you're going to be using your index finger to hit D to move over to the right, and then you can use your ring finger to hit Q to lean to the right as well. Otherwise, you would have to hit E and D at the same time. That is why I have it that way. I heard someone give that tip a long time ago, and I've kept it that way ever since. Next, I would suggest putting jump and vault on different keys. So put vault on like your mouse wheel, that's personally what I have it on, just down, and then jump on space. Basically, this means that you don't always have to vault through things. You can hit the space bar and crouch at the same time, and that works the same as a vault, and it's faster. The vault animation is actually relatively slow, so be careful when you're vaulting, it'll get you killed. It gets me killed all the time, so it's much faster to jump and crouch through space than vault. But if you have to, you can vault through really small windows, so vaulting is helpful. It can also save you from very fall heights. If you jump off a building and then vault into something, sometimes you won't take damage. That doesn't happen every time, though I'm not exactly sure. You got to get that right timing on it. Next, put drag players on F. I'll explain why later on, though that might be the normal key, I'm not sure. Anyways, we'll get to that. Make sure, drone movement, you can leave it all as is. However, just keep in mind that you can always have a drone increase speed, and this really helps with getting to people before they shoot it. So make sure you're using this in speed increase. Very important for all vehicles, actually. Night vision's fine on N. Weapon, I don't think I changed anything here. I don't have the zeroing increase or decrease. I just have the left alt, so you can scroll up and down with your mouse wheel while holding left alt. Steady aim is fine on left shift. Reload R. Combined magazines I actually changed from P to left alt just because P is so freaking far away. I mean, there's no way I'm going to be hitting that button. Left alt's a lot easier to use, so I have it on that. And I actually do combine magazines sometimes. It's pretty rare, but if I'm in a safe position, no enemies, and I have time, why not, right? Next, laser. I changed my flare from caps lock to left shift because I use my caps lock to run, obviously. Next, I have the switch weapons. I changed that to nothing because it's better to just use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys than trying to use your mouse wheel or whatever. That's a bad practice. I learned that in CSGO a long time ago. Okay, next, for your primary, those can all, primary, secondary, all of those can be the same. However, first aid, put on F. Now, the reason you did this is now when you drag other players, you can also revive them at the same time. That's why you do that. However, because you have that on that, if you try to bandage yourself in helicopter, you'll be yeeted out of the helicopter because F interacts. So I actually changed my interact key, and we'll get to that later on, just so that doesn't happen. I actually put my throwable, my grenade, on my mouse. It's just easier that way. I remember to use them more. People generally don't use their nades enough sometimes, so I would do that. So as you can see, interact, I changed to my left control actually. Throw gadget, so I think this is like when you throw down medkits, stuff like that. I have it to B. Cut rope is caps lock. That's actually probably not good that that's there, now that I think about it. I'm going to have to think about what to put that on because I use caps lock to run. That might be okay, I don't know. Anyways, push K, drop cash. I don't play those modes anyway, so it doesn't matter. Build F, that's fine. Unbuild, you can leave all of that as it is. I don't even have a home key on my keyboard, but I don't use that tab anyways. Chats, honestly, I don't care about. Ping, I have on my middle mouse button. Map, change it from M. M is so far away. Why would you have map on M? You need to pull up the map quite often to figure out where the enemy is. M is stupid. Put it on tab or your tilde key. Just something that your pinky can quickly reach over. You can zoom in, look what you need to look at. I'd put it on tab, but that's up to you. Zoom, you don't need it on anything because you can just use your mouse wheel to zoom in and out. I have my scoreboard on L just to far away from all the other keys. Don't want it to pop up and lag out your entire game. And if you're in a safe place, you can check it like that. This is really, really important. Make sure that your squad leader menu is on a very easy button to hit. So I have it on my mouse button. I have one mouse button for grenades and the other mouse button for building. This is helpful because you're able to build quickly. I promise you guys, the people who start building in this game will be the ones who are much better in the future. Like you should build if you have the squad points and the game mode allows it. Just try it and you'll thank me later. But yeah, I mean, real talk, it's really helpful if you have no covers, stuff like that. And then hide UI, and that's helpful if you're making videos. So helpful to me, probably not helpful to you unless you're a YouTuber as well. Next, vehicles. I didn't really change much with all this. Just make sure that you have your vehicle speed boost on a button that you remember. It's really helpful. definitely use that. A lot of people don't know about it, so use it while you can before people realize that it's a thing and everyone's using it. So next, I didn't really change any of this. Helicopters are pretty complicated, but I promise you they're not as complicated as they seem. I am going to make a video maybe tomorrow on how to fly a helicopter, and hopefully that'll help a bunch of people out, because a lot of people keep asking for it to be added to the shooting range so they can practice. However, I think it's really hard for them to do that because apparently vehicles are server side, not client side, but the shooting range is client side, and basically it'd be a whole mess to try to implement vehicles into the shooting range, which is why they haven't done that yet. So I will make a guide and hopefully it'll help a bunch of people out, though I'm not sure. We'll see. So that is all for keybindings. Next to our video presets. I would leave all of this the same. Make sure you're on exclusive full screen. Make sure it's set to your top resolution. I heard, and I think it was Decimal's video, I can't confirm this or not, but he said screen scale when you put it to 125 makes the game look better than 100. Honestly, the game looks the same to me, but I'm going to trust him on that and leave it there and test it out for the next week. And if you want to watch Decimal's video, I'll have it linked in the description below as well. Next, I put my max FPS at 500. You're not really going to need anything above that, and I have it there just in case my GPU tries to burn itself. I know a lot of people's GPUs burn themselves up when they played New World, so I don't want that to happen to mine. So that's why I have it set to 500. You're not going to need more than that. This is really important. Make sure your brightness is at 200. Look at the difference. So this is 200 right now. Wait. Like that, if you turn your brightness all the way down, I think it starts at like 100, right? Okay, well that looks the same, but I think it makes a difference. Whatever, I can't really tell a difference from my end, maybe you can on yours. Anyways, make that sure that's all the way up. Field of view, 110 is what I'm at. This is a personal preference thing, and it actually makes a huge difference what your field of view is. You can see it like zoom in and out, like it's actually nuts. So I'm trying 110 right now. I was at 100 before. I turn vehicle FOV all the way up because you're not aiming with vehicles really. I mean, a helicopter, sure, but not accurately. So turn that all the way up just so you can see everything. Make sure you have screen shake all the way off. That's a bad setting. You don't want that on. Next, for graphics, turn shadows off. This is huge. Okay, this I can actually show you. If you go over to here, this wall, the sun's over there, not much shadows, it's okay. If you go to video and turn shadows on and hit apply, look at that, guys. That's so much worse. I mean, it's not too bad, but this helps your visuals so much to turn shadows off. It's actually nuts. So make sure those are turned off. Very high priority thing right there. Next, anti-aliasing. I actually have it on low, so there are different settings here. You can have the FXAA, no anti-aliasing, and then the SMAA. So for no anti-aliasing, if you look over there, you see like some screen tearing. Like, I don't know, but you can see like if you move like that, it looks really ugly. So I found that for me at least, SMAA gets rid of that. If I look down, it's not tearing like it was before, and it's on low anyway, so it's not really going to use up that much more. So I just have it on low. That's what works for me. I really hate seeing the like teary blocky thingies. It's not my favorite, so that's why I have it on that. Next, this is sort of personal. I think it's pretty for the destruction. You can turn these down if you want. You know, rain quality, destruction quality, especially people really hate rain, so maybe turn this all the way down to low if you don't like that. And you know, same with destruction if you're having issues. I personally don't have issues and I think it looks cool, so I leave it up, but that's a you thing. Shader quality, I heard something about leaving on like ultra or high. There's something that you can't do otherwise, but I'm not sure what it is, so whatever. I'll try to get info on that and post in like a community post or something, so keep an eye out for that. Next, for image effects, make sure motion blur is turned off. That's the most important thing. Make sure contrast intensity is turned up to 100, and brightness and coloring helps as well, so turn that on. So for audio, this isn't really important. Obviously, this is all your kind of thing. I turned the master volume all the way down to 10 just because it's so freaking loud. The game is ridiculously loud on 100%. And you can test your microphone. It's a little bit wonky, but it's definitely good to like be able to hear what you sound like in VoIP. So that ends our settings for the in-game. Now we're going to go to some Nvidia settings. These aren't as important and it's more personal preference, honestly, but I'll just show these real quick. I have all of these at the top turned off. CUDA is more of I think it's more of like a machine learning sort of thing. At least I've heard of using it for machine learning. I'm sort of into that stuff. Max frame rate, I have that on 300 again, so that my GPU never like burns itself and kills itself. I have all of those. Make sure you have power management mode on prefer maximum performance. That's a pretty common one that you'll hear. It's pretty important. Next, you can change those to those if you want. And then this is me. I actually did have vertical sync off. However, it screwed up my OBS. So I had to change it to adaptive to make sure that my OBS would record all of the frames. But anyways, those are my Nvidia settings. And then you can go to your, resolution, rotate display, make sure you have G-Sync turned off. And then I actually found that turning on no scaling made my game look prettier. I'm not exactly sure why, but it did. And yeah, nothing too important there, I don't think. Just make sure you have your, some people will have this at 60 instead of their top refresh rate. My monitor is a 165. I did this because generally the human eye can't see above, 144 or so. So, I mean, they say it's much lower, but you definitely can. So I think that's just old people or whatever. But yeah, so those are my settings. Make sure you have this set to your GPU instead of because some CPUs have processors as well. And anyways, those are my settings for this. I hope y'all enjoyed. I enjoyed making this video, and I hope y'all found it really helpful. If you did, leave a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'll be probably making a helicopter guide tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that if you want to catch that video. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll get notified when it goes live. If you want to connect with me, join the Discord below. You can ask anyone in there. I talk to everyone. If you add me, I'll talk to you. So yeah, guys, I really enjoyed making this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And I gotta say, thank you to my channel members. We actually have 3 now. They're absolutely insane. Thank you so much for supporting me, boys. So now we have Professor Oak, Hastrel, and then also Jed. Specifically, Jed and Professor Oak play with me all the time in my live streams that are at 10 to 1 a.m. Well, it's 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. each night. So thank you to them. I really appreciate it. And yeah, guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Best of luck in your battles, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.